Hello guys, I'm Divya and I'm back with another episode of Personalities. Today we will be discussing about APJ Abdul Kalam. And before I begin, I would like to request you to subscribe Vysh IAS channel if you haven't yet. I suppose you are studying well and following the timetable meticulously, so please do that and do not ignore the foundational videos. These are very crucial videos, right? And now let's just begin. So APJ Abdul Kalam, he was an aerospace scientist and he played an instrumental role in 1998 Pokhran 2 nuclear tests, right? After that, India became what we can say, a nuclear power. So in his involvement in nuclear power in India earned him the title that is Missile Man of India because of his contributions, right? And because of his um, you know all the efforts India could achieve nuclear power status. And then government of India had awarded him highest civilian award, that is Bharat Ratna. And his birth anniversary is observed as World Students Day, and he is referred as People's President. And he's one of the he's the president who was people were more fond of, and he was very popular among students. And then after presidentship he returned to his civilian life of education, writing, public service. And he was president for only a single term. Now let us know more about his early life. So he was born on 15th of October 1931 in Dhanushkodi, which is in Rameshwaram in Tamil Nadu. And as a young boy, his family was actually poor. They had meager income. So in order to supplement, the income, he was used to sell papers as well. And in his school years, he had spent most of his time, studying. He was a good student. Especially, he used to study maths. Then he attended Saint Joseph College, which is in Tiruchirappalli, and he attained he graduated in physics in 1954. Then he moved to Madras, Chennai in 1955 to study aerospace engineering from Madras Institute of Technology. Then he wanted to become a fighter pilot, but he narrowly missed it because there were eight spots, eight positions were available, and he qualified as ninth one, so he could not make it. Now let us know his career, about his glorious career. So in 1958, as a president, he had joined the Aeronautical Development Establishment of DRDO, that is Defense Research and Development Organization. In early 1960s, he also worked with Indian National Committee for Space Research, which is famously known as INCOSPAR, and it was the you can say the parent organization of ISRO, under the renowned space scientist Vikram Sarabhai. And he had spoken so many times very fondly about Vikram Sarabhai, right? And then he started his career by he designed a small hovercraft at DRDO, and he also visited NASA's Langley Research Center in Hampton, Virginia, then Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland, and Wallops Flight Facility in 1963 to 64. And then he started, working on expandable rocket projects independently in 1965 at, DRDO. Then he got transfer orders to the ISRO in 1969, and he served as the project director of SLV 3, which successfully deployed Rohini satellite in near Earth orbit in July 1980. And you can see in this picture, here is Dr. Kalam, and he was involved in the Smiling Buddha project, right? The Pokhran test. And then he was actually dressed as army persons, right, in order to deceive, CIA, maybe um, America. So it is India's first indigenously designed and produced satellite launch vehicle, SLV, right? And then in 1970s he made an effort to develop PSLV, right? So that is how we were, graduating from SLVs to PSLVs. Now we have GSLV. So with an aim to achieve, with an aim to allow India to, launch its own Indian remote sensing satellite into the sun synchronous orbit. Right, and then PSLV project was successful on 20th September 1993, and it was first launch. And This is how India graduated, and India became what it is today. Today ISRO has so much reputation because of the efforts of such people like APJ Abdul Kalam, Vikram Sarabhai, and so many other renowned scientists which we have. Then Raja Ramanna, he invited APJ Abdul Kalam to witness the country's first nuclear test. The project name was Smiling Buddha, about which I have told you. He is here, right? And he was the representative of TBRL. Then he also directed two other projects, that is Project Devil, Project Valiant. He sought to develop ballistic missiles for the from the technology of the successful SLV program. He was very much into weaponizing. He wanted India to have weapons, just like Homi Bhabha. He also wanted India to be sufficient when it comes to the nuclear power, missiles, defense equipments, right? And then his research and educational leadership brought him laurels and prestige in 1980s, which prompted the government to initiate an advanced missile program under his directorship. So he led so many successful you can say projects, and almost and all of them were actually successful. Now let us know about some of the scientific achievements, right? So a defense minister R. Venkatraman. He appointed him as the chief executive of this project, that is Integrated Guided Missile Development Program (IGMDP), and he played a major role in developing many missiles under the mission Agni, which we see today, right? And then Agni is actually an intermediate range ballistic missile. Then we have Prithvi, that is a tactical surface to surface missile. He also served as the chief scientific advisor to the Prime Minister, and then Secretary of the DRDO from 92 July to December 1999. And then in 1998, along with cardiologist Somaraju, while he was also with the PMO, that is, he was a chief advisor. He was also working along the cardiologist Somaraju and APJ Abdul Kalam. Along with Somaraju, they developed a low-cost coronary stent, right? So it is something like this. It is used in the heart, right? Heart conditions. So, and this stent was named Kalam Raju stent. And then in 2012, the duo, that is the Somraju and APJ Abdul Kalam, they also designed a rugged tablet computer, right, for health care in rural areas. And this tablet was actually known as Kalam Raju tablet. So many achievements. And then he actually, now we'll know about his presidency, right? Presidency. So he served as the 11th President of India. He succeeded K.R. Narayanan, and he won 2002 presidential elections. And you guys should be knowing how presidents are elected, right? So what it is called, those who not everyone can elect him, not everyone can vote for him. So you have to know who actually votes for him, and what it is called, what is the body called, right, of those who elect him. So he won the 2002 presidential election with an electoral vote of 9,22,884, and it surpassed 1 lakh 07 1 lakh 7 1,366 votes, which was won by Lakshmi Sehgal, who was opposite candidate. And you should also be knowing Lakshmi Sehgal. Who is Lakshmi Sehgal? A very important personality. We should be really very proud of her, right? So please know more about her, and if you do, please comment in the comment section. Then his term ended because he served only a single term. His term was started from 25th July 2002 to 25th July 2007, and he became the 11th President of India, and it was an easy victory. And then he moved to Rashtrapati Bhavan, which is his residence, and then he was sworn in on 25th July. He was the third president to have been honored with Bharat Ratna, which is India's highest civilian award, before becoming the president. And before him, it was Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, who had already won Bharat Ratna, and then he became president. And also we have Zakir Naik, who won Bharat Ratna first, and then he became the president. APJ Abdul Kalam was the first scientist and first bachelor to occupy Rashtrapati Bhavan. That is, he became president. He was the first bachelor president, and he was affectionately known as People's President. Yeah, because he was very famous among the people, especially the students. Right? He was very fond of the younger generation, and then he supported the need for uniform civil code, keeping in view the population of the country. Then, after presidency, after his term ended, after leaving office, he became a visiting professor. Even then, he continued, his work, and especially in the field of education, which he used to like. So, at the Indian Institute, IIM Shillong, that Indian Institute of Management, he became the visiting professor, and then in Indian Institute of Ahmedabad as well. Then in Indian Institute of, Management in Indore, and then honorary fellow of IISc Bangalore. Then he was chancellor of IISc, right, Indian Institute of Space Science, not IISc, Indian Institute of Space Science, which is in Thiruvananthapuram, and he was a professor of aerospace engineering at Anna University as well, and an adjunct at many other academic and research institutions across India. He taught information technology at International Institute of Information Technology, that in Hyderabad, and then technology at Banaras Hindu University and Anna University, which is in Banaras Hindu University is in Uttar Pradesh, and Anna University is in Tamil Nadu, right? Then in 2011, he was criticized by civil groups because he was a scientist. He knew what wonders, what it means to have nuclear power plant. So he supported. He would support the Kudan power plant, and it is now running successfully. Though I mean, it was built with the support of Russia, and earlier it was, even I remember there was so much backlash, and people resisted. The locals were resisting it, not to build it, but actually it is actually, now it has started working, and now it is actually working really well, right? So that is why he was a scientist, and he knew what are the benefits of having nuclear power plant. So he supported that cause, so he was criticized for that. It is natural. So in May 2012, he launched a program for the youth of India called the What Can I Give movement, and this was, the main theme of it was to defeat corruption. Now let us know about his legacy, then his death. So he was known for his integrity and very very simple lifestyle. He never owned a television, right? His possessions after his death, it was found that he never had a television. He had only books, so many books he had. Then he had veena because he knew how to play veena, and he had some articles of clothing, some very very few, right, very few pieces he had, and a CD player, a laptop, and at his death he left no will, and his possessions went to his elder brother, right? And he had the habit of waking up early, like at 6:30 and 7, and he used to sleep at 2, right? And on 27 July 2014, what happened was he traveled to IIM Shillong to deliver a lecture. Lecture was based on creating a livable planet Earth, right? And then while climbing the stairs, he experienced some discomfort, and he was able to enter the auditorium after a brief rest. Then at around 6:35 p.m., right, only 5 minutes into his lecture, he collapsed while giving lecture, and then he was rushed to the nearby hospital, that is Bethany Hospital, in a very critical condition. And upon his arrival, he was declared dead. He had no pulse and no sign of life. Then, despite being placed in intensive, he was also placed in intensive care ICU, but he was confirmed death due to sudden cardiac arrest, that is heart attack, at 7:45 p.m. And then his last words to his aide, that is Srijan Pal Singh, who used to be with him. He used to call him, funny guy, are you doing well? So these were his last words. That's how he, this famous personality, this the very fond one, who everyone used to like, died. So he had written so many books, and some are very very famous. Even today, people read, especially the students, like Ignited Mind, the Beyond 2020, right, and so many other books. So I request you to, if you can, if you get time, do read these books. These are very very well written and very good enlightening books. right? For example, development in fluid mechanics, it is for the scientist, for the science students. So, but Wings of Fire is for everyone. Then India 2020 is also a very good book. So with this, we have come an end to this episode. Hope you have enjoyed it, and if you did, please like and share these videos as much as you can. Thank you. We'll wind up and we'll meet in the next one.